Yeah. All right. All right. Okay. All right. We getting ready to come on here live. We already on live. Give it a few more minutes for some of you others to get on. Yeah, we getting ready to go live. I'm gonna talk to you guys about these inmates being in jail. Hey, Melissa. Good to see you, baby. We on here live tonight. I'm at the office now. I don't know how the lighting is looking. How the lighting looking in here? Is it looking okay? Yeah, tell me how the lighting is looking. Yeah, about to tell me what the lighting is looking like. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Melissa. All right. All right, we getting ready to get started here. All right. All right. We on here live tonight. We discussing inmates tonight. Some of y'all may have seen me send out a mass messages about your donation towards prisoners, inmates. I'm seeking to help inmates out of jail, seeking them to get help out of the jail, prison. Some have been over incarcerated. So there's a link there here that I want you to go to. I'm gonna post it now. Let me see if it'll let me. All right, it won't. You have to go to the page and see it, and see it, and it'll let you. It'll let you see the link so you can go and give. It doesn't matter if you're giving $1, $10, $5, $4, $200, $1,000, $1 million. It doesn't matter. We are in the business of helping these inmates that's been over incarcerated out of jail. Some of you got family members that's sitting in jail. You ain't done nothing to help them. Lord have mercy. We just done throwed our families away to the jailhouse. And upon doing that, we can go to church and jump and shout and dance and, and believe in God for miracles. When we in infidel, we ain't took care of our own family members. I think it's wrong. I think it's disgusting how we do our family. We all make mistakes. Some of us go to jail, some of us don't go to jail. The fact of the matter is, no one deserved to be, to be left behind. I'll say that, and I say that with meaning. No one deserved to be left behind, because if it was you, you wouldn't want nobody to leave you behind. And certainly, we need to do better by our kinfolks and family. Certainly, we're getting ready to bring on Bishop Howard, who is certainly a strong person when it comes down to this. He has good knowledge of the prison system and how it has been embedded in our community, in our lives, and set as a loophole to take it for them to use us. I've often asked the question, why is it that when you go to jail for doing something to a person, why the state and the city and the county make the money and the victims never get anything? I'm concerned about that, and I'm very concerned about it, because something needs to be done about this, and our families is in jail being treated like slaves, and we out running the streets going to have McDonald's and Burger King, and we're going in different diverse places here, and we're enjoying ourselves, but our brothers and sisters, uncles and aunties and nieces and nephews is behind bars, and Lord knows what they're doing to them behind the prison wall. The Bible speaks of it, said that when I was in prison, you didn't come see me. When I was hungry, you didn't feed me. When I was naked, you didn't put no clothes on me. When I was sick, you didn't even pray for me. We just left our own family behind, but we want God to see about us and our family. How is it that we can go see about other people, but won't even see about the blood that's running warm in our vein, is in our family vein? Family vein, even friends we know that's in jail. So this county is set up for take phone call. We have regular attorneys, some high-profile attorneys who are donating their time to get involved with this. They are looking into helping the prisoners get out of prison that's been over-incarcerated, them that have been wrongfully put in jail. We're looking into a massive thing. So this account is set up so that the phone call can be made. They can call through when they can't get through. And I found out something: when you're in jail, your own family won't even answer the phone for you. But they love Jesus, right? They really love Jesus. They really love Jesus. But they'll leave their own family, and some of them leave their children in jail. And some of them have the audacity to say to the different families members, they better off in jail. Why? That's like saying they better off being enslaved. That's like saying they better off being in the hands of a slave master. To whoop them, beat them, kill them, do whatever they want to do with them. They better off this way. So we have to be really careful what we let come out of our mouth. And I know I'm studying tonight because I'm baffling for words here. How we have neglected our own families. We have neglected our own family. Some of our children get in trouble, get on drugs. We just leave them hanging. We don't help them. I'm gonna leave them in the hands of God, and I'm gonna let God handle them, and I'm gonna pray for them. The Bible didn't tell you to just pray. It said go after them, seek after them, go after them, pray for them. Don't give up. I'm so glad God didn't give up on me. I'm so glad that God didn't give up on some of us. Because if he did, boy, we'll be in a world of trouble. Look how we treat one another. And we want to run around here talking about Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Wow. And we go to jail. We see our people in jail. Some of us have jobs where we're working in the prison system. And we're watching them do each other in. We set them up to do each other in. We oh my God. You'd be surprised some of the things I've heard some of the inmates have sit down and talk with me about and have spoken with me about concerning the issues of jail, things that go on in the jail, the things that's going on behind the wall. And we as family members don't even know that it's going on because we're not taking a phone call. After a while, the excessive phone call costs too much money for you. You stop answering your phone. And these same very prisoners, these same very people that you're doing in, these very same people that you're not paying attention to could be the one that sit behind closed doors that have to save your life one day. And this is how you treat your future. I realize that people go to jail, they do things they have no business doing, but even when they do things they have no business doing, nobody has the right to kill them. Nobody has the right to throw them away. Nobody has the right to denounce them. There's still a soul there. After this earthly body is done with, there's still a soul there. And that's what God is concerned about, the soul, because we all can repent. Yeah. We all can repent. I don't agree with a homosexual. I don't agree with a lesbian lifestyle. I don't agree with none of that when it comes to that. However, there's still a soul. None of them deserve to be killed, put to death, or done away with because they are walking in abomination. That's God's business. And we have to let God's business be God's business. Let me bring on Bishop Howard so we can get on with this discussion. You that are on here, go and donate. I don't care if you have $1, $5, $10, $20. I don't care if you got $100. Help me meet this goal as far as getting to $100,000 so we can be a great access and help to these prisoners. Being a friend to a prisoner. Being a friend to a prisoner. I think that's a good motto we ought to use, being a friend to a prisoner. I think we need to look into being a pair because it's wrong how we do them. And this is something that's on my heart to do, and this is something God laid on. He done emptied the church out. Let me just go there with you. He didn't empty the church out, baby. So ministry is about the streets now. So it's time to get in the trenches now, get back into the real part of ministry. And that's going into the highways and the byways. And this coronavirus ain't letting up. And we ain't let up off the prisoners. We ain't been to seeing about the sick. When the last time you been to the hospital to see about the people in the hospital, the nursing home? When the last time you been to the prison? When the last time you fed somebody? When the last time? Oh my God. But we want God to spare us and our family, us four and no more from the coronavirus and the COVID-19. We want God to spare all of this. That's not fair. It's not right. If you're going to walk the Bible, live the whole Bible, not partial of the Bible. Let me bring on Bishop Howard, and so we can get further into this conversation and hopefully get a better come to the prison system and the designs of it. It's a former commissioner who's well within his rights that know about this, and he's a very good person when it comes to knowledge about prison system, how most of them are being paid more money and being used by the system on a massive level. Bishop Howard, how you doing on tonight?
Good evening, my good brother.
Yes, sir. Good evening to you. How everything going good down in Philadelphia?
Well, we still have to keep our boxing gloves on. Things can be going smooth some at times, but you still have to keep your boxing gloves on the side handy anyway.
Well, we ain't got a choice. We ain't got a choice but to do that. I'm sitting up here in the studio here, part of the studio, and in the open part here, and hopefully you can see me kind of clear. It's kind of dark to you.
Yeah, but I know who you are.
All right, all right. See,
It's
that's
still dark,
I'm
dark,
having a
but
light. I'm having a light issue tonight. I'm having a light issue tonight. I'm having a light issue. But anyway, Bishop Howard, talk to us about the system, prison system. Talk to us about the prison system here.
be happy to. I made a couple of notes because I knew I was going to be going on with you tonight and
Yes,
talking to
sir.
you a little bit about the prison system, what I know about it, and the experience
Hmm.
I have. For years, I was a chaplain visiting local Bucks County prison where I am for years,
Right,
and
right.
got calls from people. I still get calls from people when they're in trouble in that way, and and I still try to move as rapidly as expeditious as I can to assist
Right.
them when I can. But
Right.
as you know, and most people do know, American people know that the American prison system is a very, very inhumane, very ineffective, and
Yes,
overall, it is
sir.
a flawed system. You see,
It
so
is.
we don't. That's it have to be a rocket science to understand it. Is that prison system is outdated. It need to be
Right.
revamped, perhaps did away with.
Right.
And I think that there's a way. No doubt need to be sheltered watched over in some situations. But
Mm-hmm.
overall, America has too many people that are in prison.
Absolutely.
America has
Absolutely.
the most people of all the countries put together in prison,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not good. See,
Oh my goodness.
so I, 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 I just want you hit the nail around the head when you said family members need to try to visit and keep in touch with their families because they need you. Once they get behind bars like that,
I'm bored.
the
Yeah.
more contact that family can keep in touch with them, the more the
Absolutely.
more kind of like respect they get from the prison guards in jail.
Absolutely.
Because the prison guards in
Absolutely.
jail, if you don't have any contact, they know you
Mm-hmm.
can't get a word out.
That's
You
right.
can't get a
That's
word
right.
out. So be able to,
That's right.
be able to answer their letters and write them letters and go visit them and keep in touch with them once they are behind
Mm-hmm.
bars. Um,
Right.
some of the better people that ever demonstrated themselves as being the most valuable people has been arrested from time to time. So they
Mm-hmm.
need to understand that they are crying. This is probably the reason that they're even been locked up because they're crying out. They're trying out for help. Many are trying to feed
Right.
their families and
Right.
get caught up in a crime.
Right.
And you know, they they, they want to take care of the children. They want to take care of their babies
Mm-hmm.
and buy them things. And
Right.
so they go, they don't have a job. America is not really advocating and giving them any jobs. So they're going to try to
Mm-hmm.
do the next thing.
Right.
And they
Right.
get caught
Right.
in the
Right.
system and sent away.
Mm.
So
Hmm.
I just want to say that one of the things that struck me really highly a couple of years ago is when President Obama he visited prison. He was one of the first American sitting presidents that ever visited a prison.
Mm-hmm.
You see,
Wow.
if you ever took a look into any prison, you will see it's a cold chill in the prison.
It
Uh,
is.
they are
Yeah.
cold. Their prisons are hard, and they are devoid of color. They always make them like a
Mm-hmm.
dim place. And
Right.
so
Almost like
Obama
a
was so
slavery.
shocking. It was so surprising, so hurting to Obama called for prison reform. He did a lot of things. And after he
Mm-hmm.
made that visit, Obama called for prison
Mm-hmm.
reform, including the reducing
Mm-hmm.
of sentence for
Mm-hmm.
nonviolent crimes, and
Mm-hmm.
addressing
Mm-hmm.
issues
Mm-hmm.
like sexual assault. Obama said these issues must be addressed, like sexual assault
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
overcrowdedness. These are the type of things that, and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times he get penalized now for some of the prisoners coming out that had the petty
Right.
crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you see what is happening when we place a person in the penal system. He should be offered a benefit. It should be a benefit to him and our society for us spending
Right.
our money to house him there. When we spend
Right.
our money to
Right.
house him there, we should be also going all the way to have him prepared when he's released to be able to be a benefit to society. And so
Right.
there's no real rehabilitation at all being offered to these inmates. Zero,
Right. Right.
zero
Right.
rehabilitation.
Zero.
And
Zero.
as a result of
Zero.
that, Bishop, as a result of that,
Mm-hmm.
what they do, they create their own games and their own ideas of what
Right.
society is and how they're going to have to behave once they get out. If they went there
Mm-hmm.
because of a lack of employment, because less training or qualification to get
Mm-hmm.
a job, what do you think? They're going to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to try to teach themselves how to not to get caught the next time. unless
Right.
they take
That's
that
the trick.
void time, take that downtime, and use that
Mm-hmm.
downtime to put them into some type of training, some type of education.
Right.
But
Right.
they're just letting them sit there, so they develop ideas that they don't know anything but what they went in there and knew. When they went in, they
Right.
know what they know, and so they
Right.
develop and they sit on it and scheme how they're not going to get caught the next time. You know,
Right.
so
That's
they
and.
get better.
Mm-hmm.
They train themselves to be better in the skills that took them there.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Mm-hmm.
downtime,
Mm-hmm.
that sitting time, need to be used for rehabilitation. Prepare them to come
Right.
out and with an ambitious to do what they
Mm-hmm.
have been trained and rehabilitated into.
Mm. I've had the experience of talking with them, and some of them say when I get out, I ain't gonna never get a job. I ain't gonna never be put back into society, right? I ain't gonna. They gonna study hanging on my head. I can't get a job. I can't do
Yeah,
this. I can't do that. They gonna.
absolutely.
I can graduate from school in jail, but I'm still not gonna get a job. There's nothing for them when
Nothing.
they get out.
Nothing whatsoever.
And then the prisoners have turned it back on them. The courts have turned it back on them. The system turned it back on them. And then now we as family to turn our backs on the prisoners. And
Yeah.
these prisoners are just out here. We're wondering why we're having habitual offenders over and over and over and over again. And I said it earlier and I said it again. Even families, mothers and fathers who have left their children to being handed over into jail, be handed over into the prison system, and then come out. You wonder why your child coming out a homosexual. You wonder why your daughter coming out as a lesbian because you
Absolutely.
did not help them. You helped grew them in that type of environment that caused them to be an abomination, and God gonna get you for it too.
That's
God gonna get you
exactly
for it.
correct.
This
So,
is
you
God
know,
gonna get
as
you
a
for it.
result of them being that, do you know in America, Obama also released these figures when he visited there.
Mm-hmm.
Obama found that,
Mm-hmm.
well, he knew from the facts before he went there, but America
Mm-hmm.
is spending $80 billion annually per year to
Yeah.
house prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
$80 billion. And if you did the calculation,
Imagine
we
they
have two,
get.
we have about 2 million prisoners locked up
Mm-hmm.
around America, around the country.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
Mm-hmm.
calculation 80 billion times divided by 2 million people, that's about $40,000 a year that they could be used to train these people on the
Right.
outside
Right.
to have a
Right.
plus
Right.
added to our society. Why pay forty
Right.
thousand
Right.
dollars to keep them in prison, and when they can take that same $40,000 and educate them?
And get them home to the. That could be a man that can raise his children. That could be a mother who can raise her children. That can be a family
Absolutely.
member that's coming home that so you don't have to worry about sending your grandmother to the nursing home. I mean, it's so much to be offered when you're family.
Yeah, you
But
hit
when
the
you
nail.
just throw your blood away, I
Yeah,
can't
Bishop,
get
you hit the
why.
nail right on the head because that $80 billion turns out that $80 million turns out 100 billion. Sorry, billion that spending. It turns out to be 180 billion. Research has shown that
Mm-hmm.
extra $100 billion are being spent to house them and take care of their families and stuff on
Mm.
subsistence and things like that. And the other paperwork and the local parole systems and stuff like that is costing $180 billion a year
$80 billion,
for
yeah.
house the inmates in
So
America.
that means if
180
somebody,
billion.
so that means somebody making money off of my culture, my people. Somebody making money off my people, and the victims is not getting a dime for it. So that means is this ain't nothing but a modern day slave lynching going on just to get money, because that's what they did back in the day. They brought the prisoners in and kept them in, then turn around and kept them in slavery, made money off of them, used them. The prisoners go to work in the prison only make $1.16.
It's
How
a
awful
very,
that is.
very, it's a very diabolical scheme that has been designed and put together by the criminal elements of this society, of American society.
Right,
It's
right,
designed to put
right.
together so they can make money, big dollars, to keep their children in college, keep driving a Mercedes
Right.
Benz and things like that
While yours
while
in
they're
jail.
making it on. This is why they made it so the federal treasurer, the U.S. Treasury Department has to place a bond on all prisons. They be
And that ain't nothing
guaranteed to
but
get their
money.
money.
Yeah, they guarantee to get their money. Each prison, you think about that. Each prison with a
Yeah,
bond set on him, guaranteed. As soon as you go in front of the judge, automatically bond set. That means money. That's what this is about, money. So jail is not about rehabilitation. It's about money. It's about gang sake. It's about slavery still in a modern day. That's what jail is about.
absolutely. Jail is a money. It was a money making scheme, and it even has become prioritized, especially in California prison systems.
Mm,
You know,
mm,
prison systems being bought and sold by real, very wealthy people every day.
mm-hmm.
And we know a very good person, Magic Johnson, is involved in the ownership
Right,
of prison in California.
right,
See,
right.
so you know, it been prioritized, and business people have been buying these prisons because it is just like a
Machine.
daycare center, you know.
Right,
At least in a daycare center, they're
right,
learning something. Children are learning. They come home, they're elevating and doing better. But in the prison system, similar the same way, they're housing them and getting the top
right.
dollar for housing them and giving them a plate of food.
Mm.
That's all they're doing. And so, uh, you know, it's a communist type system. It was
Mm. Uh-oh. I look like we lost him. We're gonna try to get him back on in a minute here. We're gonna try to get him back on. But yeah, this slavery thing with this prison, he gonna come back on in just a moment here. Uh, we're gonna get it back on and get his system back up. This jailhouse ain't nothing but a ripoff for the community. It's been a ripoff for the community, and there's something we need to be done. Now, I have found out, I'm not going to call the name, but I will do later on, and that is, I found out that even even the churches have bought into the prisons now. I found out that mega churches, you'd be surprised names and churches that are on the list who are invested in prisons now. Make like they for the prison, they make like they with the prison in the whole 9 yards. They are using the prison for gang sake and getting rich off the prison. Now, you need to know this. You really need to know this because this is serious business, and we as pastors and preachers, we supposed to be hipping them out of the prison, not leaving them in the prison. Come on, Bishop Howard, you back? I'm glad to see you back on.
I'm back.
Yeah,
I
you
was getting
fell
ready to
off.
go to sleep.
No, no, no. For what? You fell off.
Yeah,
It was on your
yeah.
phone. It ain't none of my phone. That was yours.
Okay.
So
Okay.
go ahead and finish telling us about the how the prisons, where you left off at us with it.
I was just and like the American criminal justice system holds up almost about 2.3 million people,
Right.
and in 1,000 there's people may not realize this number, but there's 1,833 state prisons,
Mm,
110 federal prisons, 1,772 juvenile correction facilities,
mm,
3,134
mm-hmm.
local jails, and 218 immigration detention facilities.
Wow.
Another 80 in your country psychiatric hospitals,
Wow.
and prisons in the United States, and all over the United States like that. So
Wow.
the report that I was looking at, it detailed the look at where and why people are locked up, you
Wow.
know,
Mm,
in these U.S. prisons. And it
mm,
dispels some modern myth to focus attention on the real drivers of mass incarceration. And the
mm-hmm.
real
Mm-hmm.
drivers of mass incarceration is it's because of it is a way of the ownership, a way of the American system making money and keeping them in jobs and
Right.
keeping them, enabling them. It's an enablement for somebody that really need to be on a good job themselves
Right.
somewhere.
Right. Right.
You know, the
Right.
prison
Right.
system, they created that just so they can create jobs for themselves, a job creation thing.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's it. That's it.
So,
That's it. That's it.
so you
And
know, that's a lot of prisons when you really look at it
yeah,
in
I
America.
saw. I saw. I was just telling them while you was offline. I don't know if you were hearing me, but I found like the four major pastors in their churches is behind investing into the prison. They're claiming they are with the
Mm-hmm.
prison. They're able to call in and have the convocation, all that in the prison, and all that, but they behind investments in the prison. That means they are
Wow.
paying for the prisoners to be in the prison. They behind this. Uh,
Mm.
when I saw that, it like it blew my mind when we did the homework on it, and my team went and looked for me and discovered. I was like, no, this can't be. Just like in America right now, these mega pastors being very quietly about this coronavirus. These mega pastors are being quiet, and I believe you shared something on my Facebook concerning this as well too, about the prisons, about these pastors who have forsaken the communities, not giving what is due to the community, but rather have taken them for gain's sake.
Yeah, and leadership and especially ecclesiastic leadership in
Yeah,
America.
right.
They consist of Pentecostal, Baptist, Lutheran, Catholic, uh, you name it, independent, you name it.
Hmm.
But they
Hmm.
all say they believe in studying and teaching people about Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ has one church. He has, and so
Hmm.
you know the church. If we had unity, do you know what how much we could impact we could make with unity? It's the
Uh,
church. See, unity begins at the top, not from the bottom.
right,
They always
right,
preach about unity, especially even in mega churches preach about unity.
right.
But when are they going to become involved with unity? When are they going to call for a unified meeting, a unified front for the benefit of the people of God,
Hmm.
for the
Hmm.
benefit of our nation? They
Hmm.
need to come together and call for a unity
Right.
call, and then we can get rid of this pandemic. If God saw us come together as a unit and prayed as a unit, the pandemic would be gone overnight because
Instantly.
God already told him. I already told him that when you come together and pray in unity, you know what I would do for you. He
Mm.
already told him,
Mm.
and so
Wow.
but they preach hard. They preach very well. Some of them is very thorough in the Bible, history of
Hmm.
the Bible,
Hmm.
but they're not teaching the people how to live now. They talked about they're preaching more about how Paul and all the apostles lived, but
We need a
the
message for
same
now. Yeah.
opponents that the
Yeah.
same opposition opponents they had, the Hittites and Moabites and all that, those
Hmm.
people that's the families of them today, the principalities are the old Hittites and Moabites and stuff,
Hmm.
you know. And so we have the same opponents now that
Hmm.
Paul and the rest of the apostles had, James and the rest
Right.
of them had then.
Right.
You know, the same opposition. And so I said that the pastors need to come together and call for a day of prayer.
Hmm.
I haven't seen no pastors, no CNA, no CNN, no MX, no MXBN, none of them people. Channel 26 and 19, wherever you are,
Uh-huh.
Channel 4, 6, wherever you are. None of those people call for a unified prayer of the
Wow.
nation, of the state, of the
Wow.
city. And so I think that all of the big time preachers, because if we're going to have unity in the small church, it must start from the head.
You're
The,
supposed to
the
start
big
at the top.
time mega churches start calling for unity, and the
Right.
smaller number of churches, the smaller bodies of churches are going to fall together.
Right. Right.
But you name I put the names in my post. I put the names in my post.
I
I
seen it.
call for them
I seen it.
to
I
come
seen it.
together. I'm
I
not
seen it.
ashamed of the gospel, man. I'm not ashamed of, not trying to embarrass anybody, but bringing it to their attention that we are dependent on them. Since you're a mega
This
leader,
is the
we are
truth.
dependent
Yeah.
on you to take the road and the ball and run with it.
That's it. That's
Why
it.
don't Charles Stanley, why don't Jakes and George Myers and Benny Hinn and all those people, Creflo Dollar, they all get together. I haven't seen one meeting where any of them called, said we're going to get together
and
and do
gave
something about
money
this pandemic.
and gave money for the COVID-19. They've been hiding and missing in action. I tell you why they're in hiding. They took that money from the government, which is a tax deduction, and they are limited to speak about any business of the president. They're they're limited to do anything or say anything. I already know that 501c3, excuse me, has bound them. When I say bound, it has bound them that they cannot overstep their boundaries. They do, they can be fined for it, and the government can come back and ask for all the grant money back to them too, and the whole 9 yards. I ain't telling you nothing that I heard. I'm telling you what I know. The church business is supposed to stay separate from the government. Here we are now to mix the government with the church.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Lord have mercy.
You see, they're scared of losing. They don't need no 501c3 recognition. They don't need it. That's a government trap anyway. It's a government trap anyway. They already nonprofit. They already doing for the people. They don't need IRS involved in the churches, period.
That's it.
Period. And they just volunteer to let them in like that. But they're a big enough team. They're a big enough team that they can set their own
platform
league. That's right. You know, the church come together. The church can run the nation as they supposed to. If they come together, all the churches together, whether you're Episcopal, whether you're Lutheran, whether you're Pentecostal, Baptist, or whatever, when we come together, we have one Christ. When we come together, we're the powerful force in the whole wide world.
That's it.
The powerful force in the whole wide world. When we come together, they're part of it. The Lord said that they are enemies of the cross, unless they're doing exactly what He called them to do. They become enemies of the cross. And if you want to be an enemy of the cross by not doing what God,
wow. Well, I know that
unity.
That's it. Tonight, I want to set a platform to start, and I've been doing it, but now I want to do it on a more of a mass level. I want to see the prisoners that's been over incarcerated get out of jail. I want to see the man and the woman return home to their families. I want to see families restored back to unity. And the only way it's going to be restored back to unity is the church going to have to cry out. Somebody going to have to stand for the prisoners. Somebody going to have to stand for the sick. Somebody going to have to stand for the hunger. Somebody going to have to stand for the nation. And I am that person that's looking to free the prisoners from prison that's been over incarcerated, that's been done bad, been left behind. I think it's only fair, and I think it's only right.
You are the right man. I put it that way because you are one that's not afraid to call a spade a spade.
Oh no, sir.
You're the one that stands firm on the truth. That's it. And you're the right one to pull it together because you know what? It's got to start from somewhere.
It's got to start from somewhere.
And I stand 100% behind you. I stand 100% behind you because you used to be in your state. Louisiana for years was leading in population, jail, prison population. But Oklahoma took it over now. Oklahoma is the highest incarceration rate in the United States in Oklahoma.
Wow.
And they just edged out Louisiana by a little bit. And that Louisiana held that position as the world's prison system. Louisiana had it for years as the world's highest prison capital. That's right.
Go to jail, family courts, and the crazy part about it, they go to jail for child support, and when they go to jail for child support, they go to court, and then the judge take their driving license away from them. Why would you take someone's driving license away from them and you telling them they need a job, so they got to get away to the job? You're taking their driving license away from them. It's an ongoing thing in the system to keep them in trap. And then when they go to court and tell them they got to pay $300-400 per child, only $125 to $140 coming to the house. The rest of the money going into the court system. So
The rest of
nobody
it
is
going to
winning.
system.
Nobody is winning. Child support is not winning. That's losing. And not only you're not getting the money, now you don't have the one or the other parent in the house help raising the child.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're down the street trying to find a man to raise another man's child.
That's true.
Now you're down the street
That's
trying to
true.
find another woman to raise another woman's child. We've done nothing. This system has done nothing but corrupt the minority family on a massive level. It has done nothing but separate. It's just like when the child was old enough to be sold from the parents in slavery. It sold the child out, separated the mom and the dad, and the child was one way. And the same thing they're doing now. Only thing they're doing now is using the courthouse to do it. Now look at the families divided now. And without family, the enemy knows I can get anybody when the family is divided. Because how can I get the family except by buying the strong man?
Right, got to bind that strong.
Women, our minority women believe that they can do better without the man. They can raise the children without the man. They believe that they rather have the money than to have the man. They believe that going through life, they can make up for the lost, broken things. And like, let me tell you, I'm telling all of you on here tonight, I don't care who you are. You are wrong, Negro woman. You are wrong for separating the man from his child because he's not giving you money so you can go somewhere and get your nails and hair done and get your feet done. And the child still running around here, nappy head, hair ain't combed, ain't got school clothes. You wrong for a Negro woman, and you are the main cause of the massacre and incarceration of the Negro man's in jail. And I stand on that because it's facts. It's not our opinion. These are facts. These are facts. Soon as something goes wrong between you and the Negro man, the first thing you want to do is call the police. As soon as you call them, somebody gets shot, somebody gets killed, somebody goes. There's some separation going on here. All because you can't have your way.
All and because they can't have their way.
You're going to be dealt with.
You know,
I hate to tell you, but you're going to be dealt with for that. God going to get you.
Most definitely, they're going to be dealt with it. And I think that, you know, the family relationships, especially when it comes to the Negro family, it is lacking so much. The pressures, and part of this due to the, I guess, white supremacists, I'll put it that way, you know, where
it was designed
back in the slavery days, they always accepted a woman over the man. They made the man be subject to the woman, you know, and and especially according to your skin, if you was a little lighter than the next person, they take the lighter skinned person as a top. I remember in my day that jobs was the same way. If you was light skinned, you didn't have to worry about getting no job because they would pick you up somewhere, you know.
Right.
And when I was coming up, dark skinned people had in the 60s, dark skinned people had a hard time getting jobs. And that was the 60s, and I can remember that.
Right.
People don't know, you know, you ain't got to be that old to remember the Jim Crow laws and rules around. I remember seeing white only bathrooms and white only faucets in the South and stuff, see. And so those days they just got more polished and to try to make it more economically beneficial to them. They found out they was losing money by doing that also. It's all about a money thing, you know, when they were discriminating and keeping people from the restaurants and stuff. Now they allow them to come, but you know, and even if you notice if you go to certain restaurants right now, they try to point to the section they want you in. Yeah. They point to the section they want you in. And no, we always pick something different.
I go where I go.
We always pick something different.
That's right.
You know, and I see if you go there where there's a mixed restaurant, you see most of the backs are packed up near the back and in corners. Sitting out in the open, be the Caucasian people sitting out in the open, you know, like they're free. But we eat, and even in restaurants, just like we're in bondage.
That's it. That's it. That's it, bitch. Not me, though. I go straight to the center, put me in the center of the floor, and keep the air off.
That's right.
So, But I've heard this over and over and over and over too. I've heard them say that the Negro woman is the head of her household. I've heard them say that several times. No, no, no.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't no
that's where they
Negro
want.
woman run no
And
household unless she dealing
and
with a
that's
weak
right. They
jelly bag
can't run it.
man.
Even in the absence of a male counterpart there, they still make too many mistakes.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, they find they cannot run it.
Hmm.
No matter how much income they have, the home is not really a home without the male counterpart, the
That's right.
male husband.
It's the starter.
That's
It's the
that, that's
starter
what
though.
makes a home a home.
That's right.
That's
It's the
what makes
rudder.
a home a home, your male counterpart.
That's it.
You know,
That's it.
that man is the head of household.
That's right.
Period. That cannot change.
That can't change.
The
God
man is
put
the
it
head
in
of
effect.
household.
That's it. God put
He
it in
put it that
effect.
way.
That's
If
it.
they change that, they might as well change everything else God said. And
Mm.
some of them are trying to do that.
That's what they're doing,
You
taking
know,
a
some of them
woman and
are trying
trying
to
to
do
turn
that.
her to a man. That's crazy.
See, see, I'm not with
Oh,
that part. I'm not with that
me neither.
part, you know.
Me
But
neither.
I know that they still have a soul, and I don't treat
That's
them
right.
as such.
Right.
I don't
They
treat
still
them
got
as
a
such. They
soul.
still have a
That's right.
soul, and I treat them as kind as I treated
That's right.
any other person,
That's right. And that's for
because
God to
God
deal
is
with.
going to have to deal
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. That's God's
God
business
is going to
there.
have to deal with that. So,
Yeah.
so I treat them as kind as I can, and you
Hmm.
know, with respect.
Right.
Because just like the Bible teaches us, if a poor man came in and didn't have nothing, he still should be treated with respect,
That's it.
not to put the rich or wealthy man over and above anybody else because he's
That's right.
coming up driving up with a Mercedes Benz,
That's
and
right.
everybody else caught the bus to get there
That's
or walk.
right.
So, you know,
Yeah.
so I just know this prison system. Angola is another one need to come under attack. Angola out there in Louisiana need to come under attack. We need to get with the there's a bad prison system in let me see.
Mm.
They say the toughest prison is ADX. It's a prison out there. It's called ADX out there. It's in, is it in Colorado? Oklahoma City. In
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City.
Well, there you have
Yeah,
it.
it's
There
called
you have it.
it's called ADX Prison. They house about 500 people, but
Wow.
all of those people there, like the Oklahoma City bomber, the Marathon bomber,
Hmm.
and the unit bomber, all of those people are there. You
Right.
know, it's a
Right.
really the most hideous crime, the most type hideous crime people are there,
Wow.
and
Wow.
but they still shouldn't be forgotten about. And they
No.
said it cells of 12 by 12 by 7 feet cells,
Good Lord.
and
That's
the
so
windows are
small.
only a 4-inch window. They have a 4-inch window
That's
in
a
each cell.
small room. That's a
And
small room.
the cell itself is made by concrete. It's a concrete cell with a
So
with
imagine
metal bars
when the
against
winter
the door.
time come and the summertime come, they
Yeah.
they freezing or they burning up in heat. Oh my God.
Hmm. But that's ADX for you. You know, so that's actually it's in Florence, Colorado. That's where the ADX is in Florence,
Right.
Colorado. They says
Right.
the America's toughest jail.
Right.
And then you
Right.
have San Quentin State, San
Right.
Quentin State out there
Right.
in California, and they house the Bible. I mean the results say show that they house the most death row
Right.
inmates out there.
Wow.
708 death row people
You
is in
gotta be
San
kidding.
Quentin, California.
You
The
gotta be
prison
kidding me.
itself holds about 3,000.
Mm.
The prison itself holds about 3,000, but they said 708 of those on death row. And then you have in New York, Oxford in New York, Sing Sing, that has 2,000 inmates.
Good
These are
Lord.
tough prisons, very tough prisons. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Being held
Say it
over their
again,
time,
Bishop. Say it again, cause your phone
like
chopping.
Obama found they have been given too much time. See, the course is, the reason the justices are so inhumane is because the crime doesn't meet time.
Right.
The
Right.
crime
Right.
doesn't meet that proportion of time. And a lot of times the time they give you way outweighs the crime you committed.
Over
And so that's why
incarcerated.
it's so inhumane. Yeah. The punishment should be always proportionate to the crime you made.
Wow.
You know, so if it's not proportionate, that's another reason it makes it inhumane. In our prison, they see sometimes that the incest, the thing that's going on in the prison, the homosexuality and rape and all that stuff, it's the guards turn their head on that stuff.
Oh, and
This is why
again
we have to add, we have to, as family, keep in
see
touch.
about keep in touch with our own people, because we just letting them go and anything happening to them, and we going to bed at night thinking everything is all right, and we feeling safe in our own home. But how you gonna forget the blood that's in your vein, that's in another family member vein, and you
Amen.
leaving them behind? I don't know what we done become
That's right.
to, and I see why. And I say this, and I say this wide open. This pandemic is just the beginning of sorrow. We're about to get some real awakening here. We made it to the second half. I
Some
said
real awakening.
I
Some
said to
real
them,
awakening.
I said
They
it some
have the
time ago
time.
that that if we make it to 2021, you better be thankful and grateful, because what I see about to get
Very
ready to
grateful.
happen. What I see about
Very
getting ready to
grateful.
happen, you ain't seen nothing yet, people. You ain't seen nothing. God is through talking. That's why I'm
And I
allergic to
think
these folks that
people
come
are feeling
online
that
and
also,
praying
even
all
the
the time. He ain't talking no more, baby. He walking now. He through talking. He walking.
Bishop, I feel, I get a feeling in the atmosphere. I get a
That's it.
feeling even in the atmosphere that
That's
even
it.
the unsaved
That's
people
right.
on the street, the
Right.
unsaved people, they want leadership. They want somebody to
Yeah.
talk to
They
them
can.
how to get
Yeah.
saved and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I did a funeral Friday a week ago.
Mhm.
I did a funeral, and it was a bunch of unsaved people in that funeral.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And by the time I ended the funeral, I called for soul salvation prayer,
Mhm.
and people came in, 18
At a funeral.
people
At a funeral.
at a funeral, 18 people. You see, so I said now these people are searching based on, see, my message is about the time that we're living in and times that we must face. We
That's
all are
right.
going to have to be that
That's right.
same person stretched out in the front of
That's right.
somebody's funeral, somebody's chapel someday.
That's right. That's right.
And so, you know, they need to know the way, because just like you said, time ain't long. Anytime you have your
Ain't long.
leaders, your
Mhm.
top leaders, these guys you consider as experts Christodominans,
Mhm.
experts in the word of God. They are not
Mhm.
trying to pull together. They preach about unity, but
Hmm.
what about themselves?
Hmm.
You're not going to deal
Part
with
of
the
the
Baptists
division.
because you're Pentecost.
Yeah.
You're not
Part
going to
of the
deal with
division.
the Baptists because you're Methodist
That's it.
or you're Episcopal. You're not going to deal
Mhm.
with each other. Is that the reason you're not calling for unity, because you're under different banner?
Hmm.
You know, you Pentecost and I'm Methodist.
Boy,
Is that why you're not coming together?
oh my God,
You
Bishop.
hate the Baptists. You did the Bible teach you to hate the Baptists? That's what I'm saying. You so
What
it's
in the
like they
world
hate
coming
one
to?
another. It's
That's
very
it.
rarely that you can see them even communicate with each other. In the paper, sometimes they cross paths, and you must shake hands with it. Show them that your brotherly love is for them also. I never have seen that among the big people where the Pentecostals are shaking hands with Charles Stanley. He's a
Yeah.
great Baptist man,
Mhm.
you know. I never seen any of those Pentecostal movements shaking hands with the Methodist people.
Lord.
You know, what is wrong? What
All
is
this
wrong if it ain't the
entertainment, it's
devil?
entertainment, Bishop. It's all entertainment to bring that I have a mega ministry and I have this going on, and being a part of this ministry is a blessing for you to be a part of. But in actual reality, it's serving a death sentence to everyone that's sitting there and under it. It's serving a death sentence, because look at it now. I don't care if you got an $85 million church. You barely can walk into the church now. The book says
Right.
in the last days you shall build cathedrals and they shall be empty. They're empty now.
That's right.
The book of Revelation
That's
never
right.
lies.
What is the gain the whole world but lose your soul? You know,
Behind a
that's what I'm
dollar.
saying. So
Behind a dollar. Behind a
nobody don't want their members. Nobody don't want their members scared of something. Nobody don't want your members. Nobody don't want your money, your millions that you got. All we want is a happy, joyful
all
medium.
in
Let's
all
be
Indians.
Christians and get rid of the sin.
All Indians and no chief. All Indian, all chief, I mean, and no Indians. Let me say that again. All chief and no
No
Indians.
Indians. All
That's
cheese.
what
No,
we're dealing with now.
all cheese, no Indians.
Everybody wants to be the top dog, and you're using the church. You're pimping the church.
When
to
you
become a
see the
top
top 10
dog.
preachers come together, I don't see it.
Wow.
Because Bishop, I
Wow.
tell you the honest truth, I seen them many days. I've been all over 2/3 of the world. I traveled. All the Caribbeans, Africa,
Yep.
South America,
And you tell me this
England.
all the time.
I traveled in all these different places ministering the
And you
word of
don't
God.
see it. Yeah, you told me you don't see it.
And I don't see no difference than working with. I did most of the churches, the Lutheran churches. I preached in almost every Lutheran church in South America. It seemed like.
Good God. Good God.
Every time they turned around, I was wondering why the Luther was calling me. I'm Pentecostal.
Good God.
Yeah. So even so you know, I just think that I've learned to work with others. I learned that
Right.
the church is not a different church. They have a different way of having a service, a different way of moving the
Right.
service forward.
Right.
Worshiping God, but it's all one God, one Jesus.
That's it.
And I can feel the spirit in these churches wherever I've been. I can feel the spirit in them.
That's
Pentecostal, Holiness, and Methodist. I feel the spirit of God there. If you got God in your heart, God is going to speak to that heart.
That's
no
it.
matter where
That's
you
it.
at.
That's it. Well,
And people just professional showmen.
that's it. That's it. Well, I want to encourage you guys to go to help the prisoners out of jail. I put a link on my timeline. Look, tag it, share it to the other people. Encourage them to give. You give. I don't care if you got $1, if you got $2 million. Give. Everything counts. And give. And I want everyone to participate. Not some, but everyone. And you got somebody in jail that need help. Have them to call this number 346-617-2159. That number again is 346-617-2159. I'll be waiting, or someone will be waiting for that phone call, see what we can do to help your family out of jail. Now, we got to get out of here. My time is far spent. We want to thank Bishop Howard for coming on tonight and being certainly a blessing to us and giving us this. It's just part one. We're gonna continue to come back on at least 3 times a week to keep this thing going, so we can help these prisoners out of jail. Pray for your family. Call your family. Let your family call you. Take the collect call. See about your family. After all, that's your own. How you gonna go up the road to see about someone else and you're not seeing about your own family? I'm here to tell you, you're wrong, and God's gonna get you. Let's make a change.
Amen.
Let's detour, and let's see about our family. Go and give. Go and give. Go and give. This money is strictly used for that purpose only, not for church business, not for my pocket. It's going to a whole nother account where the legal team is handling it. Go.
Amen.
Amen. Bishop Howard, we thank you for tonight, and we're going to see you on later on this week again for the more interviews concerning this issue.
Thank
All
you.
right.
God bless you.
God bless. God bless. Let me see here. All right.